Who would have thought that 5 months into the year, we'd be talking about a horror film? A horror film. Like it's potentially the movie of the year. Now, before we begin, if you haven't seen the film, I really advocate for you guys to go see the movie. We're about to go deep into spoiler territory to kind of, analyze this movie, and I really think you guys should go into it raw. Our protagonist, Bear, doesn't actually pursue any real emotional connection with Nikki. You can kind of tell throughout the movie that all he's really looking out for is validation, control. He's seeking this fantasy that he had for this relationship between him and Nikki. Nikki's identity throughout the film is slowly consumed by Bear's fixation. Everything that happens to Nikki as soon as Bear makes that wish is entirely against her will. He never genuinely communicates his feelings in a healthy way in this film. Instead of being honest and taking that risk of rejection, showing that vulnerability, showing the emotional maturity of potentially getting shut down to get rejected, he uses the one wish willow that completely takes control. It's this artificial affection. It's not really Nikki. But that doesn't matter to Bear because it meets that fantasy, that hoax of a relationship that he was building in his head between them. I mean, Nikki is slowly losing her humanity throughout this film. One of the creepiest aspects of the movie is that as you are watching the film and you are interacting with Nikki from the audience perspective, from Bear's perspective, you can just gradually see her slipping more and more, and it just doesn't feel like she's a real person anymore by halfway into the second act. Not to mention, every now and then throughout the film, Nikki would regain control of her body for a split second and freak out. Now, Nikki throughout the film is constantly mirroring Bear's emotions. In a lot of cases, his emotional immaturity. And you can kind of take that transformation as very symbolic, right? The more obsessive that Bear becomes, the less authentic Nikki becomes. What makes this movie so tragic, and the more you think on it after watching the film, it just gets worse and worse. We spend the entire first act getting to know Nikki, getting to know Ian, getting to know Sarah, and Nikki's the one that stands out, right? And maybe that's just because we're following the protagonist Bear, but Nikki seems like such a genuine friend. Later on in the film, we find out that, obviously before the wish, Nikki was speaking with Sarah and telling Sarah that she only saw Bear as a friend. I believe she used the word as a brother. Nikki even was hooking up over the years, off and on, with Ian. There is no romantic interest connection between Nikki and Bear. Bear never really understood her, did he? He had this fantasy in his head, this fixation, and he completely convinced himself that, there was a future between them two. And as the movie goes on, these two characters just lose more and more of themselves. They're almost less human. So the horror in this movie is not the crazy obsessed girlfriend. The horror is that someone valued their fantasy of love more than another person's autonomy or choice. Now let's talk about the cinematography. Easily one of my favorite aspects of this film, right? The camera is constantly making you feel claustrophobic, right? You're very tightly squeezed. You're trapped into these characters emotionally. They do that with the close-up shots, the shallow depth of field, the dimmed lighting. Oh, dude, the lingering shots of Nikki in the hallway, and it's just her silhouette. You can't even see her face. It's just all black, all shadowed. So fun. It was honestly a little terrifying to see it in the background. I mean, you see, the film's goal is to make you feel uncomfortable. That sudden awkwardness in scenes was not unintentional. It's meant to build on that uncomfortable feeling, the silence, the emotional intensity, the pacing and how it felt suffocating at times, the unnatural interactions, characters constantly feeling emotionally unstable, that party scene. Like, Curry Barker really understood that some of the most effective horror comes from the emotional discomfort and not just the jump scares. Here's my thoughts. Here's my score on Obsession. Like, the concept, the themes, while fairly simplistic, the interesting ideas that they had on obsession and validation and this parasocial attachment, I constantly felt like I was really enveloped into the premise of the story. I didn't really have to get sold on it. It was really entertaining. Alongside acting, I thought the performances between the four were really good. The one that stood out the most was the actress for Nikki. I'm not even going to try and pronunciate her name, but she better get booked ASAP. She really pulled it off. I honestly thought I was rewatching Pearl again for the first time. Her acting skills were just so on par with like some of the top-notch higher actresses out there. Obviously, I said what I said about the cinematography, so 9.5. The horror. I'm really enjoying that a lot of these horror movies that are coming out lately are starting to kind of redefine what we consider quote-unquote horror, right? It's so different from what we saw back in the day. It was scary masks, monsters, jump scares. Like, we're seeing such a strong lean into psychological horror. In this case, psychologically uncomfortable horror, and it's so much more interesting than your average traditional scary horror films. And then the ending. I could talk about the ending for so long. The last 20 minutes of this film, perfect. I loved it. There is genuinely such a tragic ending. Bear escapes all responsibility for his actions from this film, thanks to his death, of course. But it really brings the story full circle from Act 1 to Act 3. And then Nikki is left trapped in the aftermath of Bear's selfishness and his obsession. But it was really, I could put myself in Nikki's shoes. I could feel the traumatization of her screams as they rolled the credits. Overall, my score on the movie was very high. I really enjoyed it. I really enjoyed the ending. A lot of horror movies tend to strike out, miss, long legs. And this ending really hit for me. It really felt like an ending that I could enjoy. So I leave you with my final thoughts. Obsession wasn't scary because of its supernatural elements, but rather it was scary because every emotion, every behavior in this movie we've already seen in some way, shape, or form online. Just maybe not to that drastic element. The film understands something uncomfortable, right? It understands that the urge to avoid modern loneliness can easily become someone's obsession in life. And obsession turns validation, turns fantasy and emotional dependency into a type of horror. And that's why it was so unsettling to watch.